And let me know your struggles, guys, because I think no rules training, or you can call it don't be a robot training, you can call it don't be a trash bag mouse, whatever you want to call it. It has many applications. It doesn't mean that you should never have rules with your dog. It means that there are certain times, especially in rewarding our dogs, especially engaging in our dogs, that as humans, we do a little bit too much rules and not enough kind of enjoyment and being present. And if we're honest, that probably applies to our interactions with other people. That probably applies to our interactions with children, where, you know, that kind of like we feel like a bit awkward and a bit like there needs to be rules in place, and we don't feel all that present, and we're kind of thinking about what other things are going on in our life, and then you ground yourself and you get present, and then people respond. Like I always think human children are like really, love it, human children, they're really aware of that. They're aware of when someone's present, they're aware of when it's very rules driven, and they don't engage with rules. They don't engage, yet they do engage with presence and flexibility, and the person that they're engaging with being engaged themselves. So I think that's a really good example of actually the type of, and yet with children, of course we have rules, yeah? But when we're rewarding them, when we're playing with them, we don't have rules, because then it's kind of boring, and they're going to choose the environment over us. There's not much difference here, right? So we're going to do a bit of a fresh sesh. I've challenged Lauren to show you, walk the walk of no rules training with a dog that, you know, we want to reward with play. She doesn't naturally, she doesn't tug. Actually, she does not find, tug isn't her bag, right? So what we're not going to do is we're not going to stipulate how we play. We're going to be present. We're going to adapt. We're going to see what we get. We're going to see how she chooses to engage, and we're going to bounce back with more engagement. And that's how it's going to look. So let me read some comments. Wade says, our lab loves other dogs and pulls so hard to try to get to a dog she sees to say hi. Yeah, and that's the thing, you know, dogs between each other, especially often dogs of the same breed, for some reason, the rule book kind of goes out the window and it gets a bit crazy. And that is one of the reasons why they gravitate towards that. So let's have a look here. Bobby says, my collie using me as livestock and pouncing on me down the stairs. Bobby, I think that I love that. All of these struggles, they, you know, you could look at them as a struggle. You could look at them as naughty behavior, or you could say, you know what, my struggle probably is leaving clues, and it's information of maybe how I could incorporate some level of what my dog naturally loves into training. And that's what we're talking. When we talk no rules, when we talk don't be a robot, we're thinking the ways that we engage with our dogs. We're thinking the ways that we play with our dogs, the ways that we reward our dogs. Especially if you're struggling with engagement, struggling with motivation. There are absolutely many, many situations throughout the day where rules are really important and rules are great. But if you're trying to compete with a sexy environment over there, being sexy, and you're asking your dog to give you a handshake and play how you want him to play, they're probably going to pick the sexy environment over there, right? I'm looking at that environment right now and I'm seeing all the sexy that a dog could do. So if that makes sense, guys, if this kind of like really resonates with you and you can like feel it in your heart, let me know in the comments with a heart, because we are about to do a fresh sesh. And we have a willing subject coming imminently, bounding towards me, and I'm going to flip the camera.
So I brought with me a toolkit.
Oh,
I'm going to give you a couple of my tools. That's the lead that I was on, but I don't need any more. Mm-hmm. And then I brought with me a whip.
Perfect.
Oh,
perfect.
Nice. Brought with me a tennis bally.
Yeah.
I've got with me a chaser tug.
Oh.
She's never seen a chaser tug before. No rules training. Get off! Get off!
Sit.
So the rules training might not necessarily be needed just yet. Soon, maybe. And then what else have I got? Oh, I've got a one with a tennis ball on it.
Brilliant.
So I'm going to give you a couple.
Hand me a few, because I don't think you're. I don't think.
So I'm going to start with one that's got a lot of movement in it, but could be hard for a dog like her because it's not necessarily her breed's first choice. So I'm picking something that I do think is on the tougher end of what she's doing. So we're going to play a bit of this. Now, my goal is, without having a fixed outcome
Lauren
here,
getting sexy with a whip.
my goal is, my goal is that she chases it. That's all I would like, is she chases it, because she's a Labrador. And you know what? My expectation is that actually any play right now for her is a good thing, because she's not really played a lot of tug. So we haven't really done any tug, have we? Ready?
Now, at this stage, we've got no rules. Abra can engage with it however Abra chooses, because we are the sexy environment. We do not stipulate. You know, the grass does not stipulate that it must be sniffed. The grass is like, you know what, put me in your mouth, pull me up, sniff me, wee on me, do what you dare, right? And that is kind of we need a little bit more of that in our training. So if Abra, for example, had put a pause on the tug, when on the end of the whip, then you know what, that's information. She loves to engage with her paws. She's grabbed it and she's carrying it. That's really nice. Lauren's parading around with her.
Not putting any pressure on this right now. So letting her just kind of enjoy the parade. If she puts her feet on it, let her do it for a minute and then keep it alive and whip it away again. Good girl.
So what we love to see is dogs parading, because when dogs are parading, they are literally in
another one
their happy place.
With her putting her feet on me, like not shouting about that or getting upset about it. Get off! Just be happy that she's got the toy in her mouth.
If if dogs get actually told off and punished for engaging with you because they engaged in the wrong way, do you think they're likely to engage with you more or engage with you less? It's going to be less, right? So I love this. She's and yet this is a dog that wouldn't play, a dog that wouldn't tug, and now she's actually, because we've got no rules, we're incorporating a little kind of glimpse of a tug type behaviour. She's liking having it in her mouth. She then gets to chase it again. I love it. So can you see, guys, how no rules training is very much good for this type of context? And there's no rules training to the point that the whip is now without a handler.
It's now wrapping me up. Oh, God!
No rules training gone wrong. No rules training gone wrong.
Oh, God. I'm actually in the whip. I'm sexy and...
Oh, Lauren took this whole be sexy like the environment too far. She now wants to be tied up.
What a good girl!
And Laurie says my mechanics are still horrible with the whip. You know what, Laurie? The best tip for that is
we played with some great people yesterday.
Yeah.
Right? We played this with some amazing people yesterday, and we had a load of people that found this really hard yesterday on the chase day. We did a chase day, sorry. About to whip you as well. So the chase day, we played this loads, and it is a tough thing. It's working out how to stay engaged with the whip, not allowing them to disengage or chew it up or go into the kill mode where they actually are dissecting. So we don't really want them in dissect mode. But equally, we want to keep it engaging. And yet you can see this level here is where we almost go to dissect.
The tip here
is to keep that tension always like loosely. We want to keep it like a little
loosely engaged.
But we're still there. It's engaged in a way that it is. Now, do you see that choice? So many people be like, don't jump on me. Get off. What a cool choice. That's a cool choice. I just think that's an amazing choice. To come and tell me she wants to share a toy with me. And then for me to let her keep her toy rather than take it off her. Because I think that's really important. So many people try to take it off. It's mine. It's mine.
What we see really often is as soon as the toy's in the mouth, the owner's already thinking, how do I get it from the mouth? How about we just enjoy them engaging with us and interacting with us? Top tip for you, Laurie, whip it without your dog. So you know how the whip kind of mechanic should look. The end of the whip should be nice and low to the ground. The toy on the end of the whip should glide across the floor, not flip like a fish. And you know all these things. So don't add the complexity of your dog into the situation at this stage. Let's practice without the dog.
I think the other thing is people expect a lot. They expect a lot in one session. Like, I don't want to take it away from her. I don't want to ask her to bring it back. I don't want to ask her to tug on it. I don't want to ask her. All I'm going to do is I'm not going to let her dissect it. And then look at the choices I'm getting from her first ever time of seeing a whip. This is the choice I'm getting. The choice I'm getting is she wants to share it with me. Like, what a privilege. What a privilege. Not only does she chase it, not only does she grab it, not only does she want to keep it held, she wants to share it with me. Now that's worth it. Celebrating. That's huge.
The sharing wouldn't happen if we add rules too early. And for sure, long term, what you'll see is we add rules to this game, and we love adding kind of rules to this game. It's a great way of teaching real life self-control. That's what we've been doing over the past day. Over
the past day, Tom and I have been working really hard on this, but most people add the control before they've got the pulse.